Participation of women in economic development, social and political spaces is a worldwide phenomenon. The situation is quite worsening in developing countries, and the issue is quite worrisome in Nigeria and other African countries. 5. Nigeria signed into adoption of the United Nations Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women. Several other policies, such as the National Gender Policy of 2006, still exist due to a myriad of cultural and structural challenges. The marginalization of women has brought a lot of constraints to women's participation in all spheres of life, with serious implications for human resource development. Adverse effect on the economic and political development of women and girls in every aspect of the society. It is essential for leaders at the state and national to put in place local adaptation of international norms and focus on domestic reforms of laws and culture, which might be a reasonable approach towards women development. Marginalization is the act of placing a person or thing in a position of lesser importance, influence, or power, the state of being placed in such a position. Marginalization can lead to denial of access to institutions and opportunities, including historical bias and lack of funding. UNESCO noted that all forms of discrimination based on gender are violations of human rights, as well as significant barrier to the achievement of 2030 agenda and its 17 sustainable development goals. Agenda activist Dr. Ene Ede urged government and private sector to employ more women and thereby improve the statistics of women in labor force. There has not been consistent increase of women in position of power. Government agencies like judiciary, labor union, Pengasan, the Nigerian Senate, Defense Ministry, and other agencies need to improve the statistics of women in the labor force, she said.
Over time, the labor force generally, the pharmacy, MBA, in the entire history of MBA in Nigeria, Nigerian Bar Association, only one woman has been president. The Bar Association, and you know that there are wonderful women lawyers, senior advocates, women both at bar and at bench, both inner bench, yet they are not there. Then when you want to go again to journalism, you notice that Nigerian Union of Journalists, sorry, you notice that we have never had a female president, and we have never had a female secretary happening. Go to Guild of Editors. We managed to have two female Guild of Editors. God rest her soul, Auntie Remi Oyo, who became presidential spokesperson. Then Funke Egbomode, who is now a commissioner in, I think, Ondo, so one of the states. So I want you to just imagine, these are supposed to be liberal professions. The labor unions, TUC, Pengas, National Assembly, Union of Engineers, you go to the chartered accountants, all of them are guilty of this. The worst place that you can think of, even civil service, in the history of civil service of Nigeria, we managed to have Engineer Ebere Okeke, we also had Ama Pepu, and now Mrs. Eson. Three out of the numerous uncountable ones. And when you want to talk about SSG, no, SGF, we have never had a female SGF in Nigeria, as if we should never had. People thought that the immediate past minister of women affairs, Mrs. Pauline Tale, will become the SSG and SGF. It didn't happen. When you talk about the security sector, that's why the fact that 23 years ago, that is the year 2000, we had women, peace and security. You still don't have women heading security, even if it is an ad hoc committee.
Bukola Afeni, Program Manager of Women Empowerment and media advocacy initiative, said women marginalization is caused by some limiting factors such as culture, religious
the workforce due to some cultural factors. Like in Africa, we believe that women are not meant to be seen or they are not meant to be heard. So people have taken this culture also into the workplace. They believe that as a lady or a woman, you are not supposed to have a voice of your own, that you're supposed to be under the man. So you look at some corporate organizations, some will even tell you that they don't want a lady to be their boss or to be their leader. So some will tell you that some of these reasons are due to maybe during menstruation, some women they are very strong. So due to that, they will feel that how can a woman be our leader because every month she has to take her excuse. And some of these reasons are due to biological factors. Maybe some of their body is not that well in good health and all that. So also during pregnancy, some will tell you that they don't want women that are still giving birth. When I first started my career, I worked in a particular sector that I don't want to mention it, but they told us that you have to wait for a while before you get married and all that. So some of those things is a way of marginalizing women due to their gender. And some of these things are due to our stereotype too.
Dr. Ene highlighted that gender marginalization thrive in secrecy. Women are considered for sexual pleasure, abuse, and they often gang up against women to chase them out of position of authority.
Spaces are used for personal development, personal selfishness. That is just what I would say. And because any position you occupy in Nigeria, you can make money, you can become a millionaire automatically overnight. You will power. And one other bad thing about it too is that many of them have easier access to women. They want to sleep with the women, they abuse the women, they molest the women. Too much sex. So it gives them access to free sex, it gives them access to free food. So the discrimination is everywhere, in the security sector, in politics, in even NGO, social cultural. I belong to the Middle Belt Forum. A woman who wanted Auntie Miriam, Pastor Miriam Yunusa, who displayed capacity and determination and ambition to be first female president. I know what happened to her. She's now down below.
Dr. Ede provide women empowerment as a solution to ending women marginalization. We need to end the stereotype that sidelines women. Young women should be empowered to occupy position of power.
There are women who are tenacious, so I would like such women to be empowered and they move. They can move on to a level that we need to be as a country. There are many young women that give them position, they will do so well. I'm glad that many of them are on this list. Somebody like Right Honorable Onyejoka, she was the highest ranking woman in the National Assembly. Until 2000, they didn't allow her get her seat back. But now look at the principal officers, 18 of them, 9 in the in the Senate and 9 in the House of Reps. How many of them are women?
Bukola Afeni added that mentoring by female in leadership position will bring about equal representation. Both male and female need to be given a voices at the grassroots level. When women are well represented at the community level, it will cascade at the state and national
The
level.
workforce due to some cultural factors. Like in Africa, we believe that women are not meant to be seen or they are not meant to be heard. So people have taken this culture also into the workplace. They believe that as a lady or a woman, you are not supposed to have a voice of your own, that you're supposed to be under the man. So you look at some corporate organizations, some will even tell you that they don't want a lady to be their boss or to be their leader. So some will tell you that some of these reasons are due to maybe during menstruation, some women they are very strong. So due to that, they will feel that how can a woman be our leader because every month she has to take her excuse. And some of these reasons are due to biological factors. Maybe some of their body is not that well in good health and all that. So also during pregnancy, some will tell you that they don't want women that are still giving birth. When I first started my career, I worked in a particular sector that I don't want to mention it, but they told us that you have to wait for a while before you get married and all that. So some of those things is a way of marginalizing women due to their gender. And some of these things are due to our stereotype too. Some believe that because you're a lady, you should be in the kitchen, you should be in your husband's house, and we need to stop this. And one of the ways by which some of these things can be stopped is through mentoring. So for female women in leadership position to look for a way of mentoring those young girls to always have a voice, and also young mothers, when you have a family, ensure that you don't make only the girls to do the house chores. We have some families that they believe that it's only girls that will do the house chores, the boys will be watching TV and all that. So this kind of attitude have a way of fueling marginalization, always believing that a woman don't have anything to bring to the table. There is also a situation whereby you see some men, they will, when they see that their women are rising, they will find a way of caging them, they will find a way of telling them to stop working so that they will not be able to contribute to the economic development of the family. Because as a woman, if you don't contribute to the development of your family, you'll not be able to have a say. Maybe your kids are going to school or they want to buy things, you always depend on the husband or the father. So it's always good for upcoming women that are up there to mentor young girls so that they will ensure that they follow their career and give them the necessary support. As women, we all have struggles we pass through. For example, a woman that's just giving birth, it may not be easy for her to go back when she resume. Do you understand? Before she combines her work, her office, and her career, it may not be that easy. A man cannot understand the struggle, but a woman that has been through that part, maybe that has given birth herself, will be able to empathize with her and know that this woman, it's not easy for her to wake up at night to give a baby breast milk and all that. So we need more women in leadership position to strengthen other young girls so that they'll be able to have a voice in the FCT and the country as a whole. Then we need grassroots mobilization. Often at times people talk about 35% affirmative and all that. But before we get to the national, what are we doing in our communities? Are we giving women voice in our religious institutions? In some religious group, they don't allow women to lead. Some will even tell you in their churches that they don't allow women to maybe sit on the high table and all that. Those are different forms of marginalization. Some will tell you that maybe a couple have a church. If maybe the man is dead, they'll tell you that the wife can, and maybe they are running the ministry together. But there is always this disparity that a woman cannot lead us. How can a woman be like? So in different ways at the community level, we need to curb this. So by the time we are empowering women at the community level to have a voice, at the family level to have a voice, this will cascade to the state level, the FCT, and Nigeria as a whole. Even in sub-Saharan Africa, statistics have shown that it's just few women we have in leadership positions. So we need to encourage ourselves as women.
Generated from the data provided by the National Bureau of Statistics based on nationwide socio-economic survey, which sampled 33,300 households across the
Male in labor force population 39,523,050. Female 30,152,418. Male fully employed 18,333,745. Female fully employed 12,238,695. Underemployed male 8,612,770. Underemployed female 7,302,869. Underemployed male working 19 hours 6,394,980. Underemployed female 4,677,231. Unemployed with 0 working hours, who did nothing. Male 6,226,555, and the female 5,933,623. Total unemployed male 12,576,536. Total unemployed female 10,610,854. Percentage of all Nigerian male 53.6%. Old Nigeria female 59.4%. New Nigeria male 31.8%. New Nigeria female 35.2%. Under male employed is 21.8%. Under female employed is 24.2%. The female employed is 24.2%. The data presented showed that more men are employed into the workforce than female due to reasons listed in the investigation.
This report was initiated by Gender Strategy Advancement International with support from Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism and MacArthur Foundation, reported by Owolabi Olajumoke.